Hey there. So I've been working in businesses and helping build businesses now for almost a decade. And in that time, of course, I've stumbled my way into a whole bunch of lessons, made a lot of mistakes, got a few things right, but mostly made a lot of mistakes, which is really how you learn in business. And so I'm gonna lay out just some of the most powerful lessons that I've learned over the next 5 or so minutes. So this will be of particular relevance if you're trying to build your own product-based side hustle, which is the business model I recommend, where you sell a product rather than a service. And that's in fact lesson number one, which is selling a product is better than selling a service. Because what happens when you sell a service is every time you get a client, you just add to a mountain of existing work until eventually you're so buried in the work that you can't take on any more clients. And what that means is that your business really can't scale. And so that's gonna be your number one challenge to scaling, to building anything uh, worthwhile over time is you're gonna run out of hours in the day. You can only realistically work maybe 40 hours a week doing client work, and at that point you're tapped out. So if you sell a product instead, you can actually scale because a product is independent of your time. And so what I recommend that you sell is you're gonna be selling either an e-commerce type of product or an information product or potentially software as a service. Now all those products can scale and they do scale independent of your time, where you're not spending a lot of time doing client work. So that's lesson number one. The second insight, key insight, is that marketing is senior to sales. Okay, marketing is senior to sales, which is very important. A lot of people think that they're gonna make the big money just by being a good salesman. That they just need to talk slick to whoever is in front of them and they can get the business. But the reality is that a lot of what happens in a sales call really depends on what happened way before the sales call. If you don't have mind space, if you don't have influence with the customer before they ever turn up to the sales call, the chances of you closing that sale are gonna be pretty low. So the way you get around that is you need to invest in a lot of marketing. Do a lot of marketing upfront. Marketing is senior to sales. Marketing is how you gain attention, how you get the eyeballs on you in the first place, and how you build that attention. And then you can sell whatever it is that you happen to be selling. You need to do marketing first and then sales afterwards. Lesson number three, really important one, is that there's a lot of people that talk about products. Oh, Steve Jobs was a product genius. Elon Musk is a product genius. And so they start thinking that they're gonna be product geniuses and that's how they're gonna make the big money. But here's the lesson, guys, is that marketing is senior to product. Marketing is senior to product, just like marketing is senior to sales, because before they ever can find out about your product, you gotta get their attention first. If you can't get their attention, guess what? You ain't ever gonna sell them your product either. And what I have seen in my times in the game of business is that there's a lot of great products out there. Um, but the problem is that a lot of great products don't actually sell. Not because they are bad products or poorly made products, but simply because the person behind them is not marketing them enough, and in a lot of cases doesn't actually know how to market. He hasn't built the right marketing systems, the right marketing processes, and so that product that might have been a really good product actually ends up not selling. And it's a pity, really. It's a real pity. So marketing is senior to product. Now the next big lesson is that cold outreach can work fast, and cold outreach can be very effective, but it's like crack cocaine. You know, it can give you a high very quickly, but it's not always the best way to rely, the best method to rely on for getting clients long term. And a lot of people jump into cold outreach, sending cold emails, doing cold calls, and sending cold DMs. Now, all those methods work, but the problem is that when you build a reliance on those systems, and that's all you know, what can happen is that it prevents you actually building a brand, and you get stuck in this game where you're constantly on the treadmill of cold outreach in order to get the next client, in order to get the next client. And you can make good cash flow. Don't get this wrong. You can make good cash flow, but you really should be building some kind of a brand. That should be like your primary objective. And then you need to like put in cold outreach as like an additional thing, if you do it at all. There's a place and a time for both strategies, but your primary strategy long term should be, how do I build an actual brand so that I don't need to rely on cold outreach, so that um, I can scale in a, in a predictable but in a scalable way, where I'm not doing a ton of cold outreach to try to get clients. So these are some of the most powerful lessons I've learned, and the final one is obviously that we all can achieve financial independence. Even if you're working a full-time job, there is a path to getting there. And what I recommend is that you do that on the side as a side hustle, that you build your own business as a side hustle while working your full-time job, or some kind of gig, or freelance, or doing some kind of gigs that you might be doing, whatever way that you need to do to be like your main source of income. But you need to build this business thing on the side alongside your day job. That's really how you can build up. Now, it will take time, but over time it can bring you all the way to financial independence. And so that's what I recommend, and these are some of the most powerful lessons that I have learned. And if you need some more extra resources to help you with your own journey, you can check out my free resources. The links will be in the description.